So the holidays are around the corner, and if you're anything like me, you're excited, but also maybe feel a little bit nervous because you know it's a season that's going to really test you when it comes to your resiliency around sugar. Because anywhere you walk into, we are bombarded with sugary treats. It's part of the festivities of the season. And if you have trouble navigating this, if you feel more urges to eat, if you are craving at around 3 p.m. sugar every day, and you know it's going to be even harder to resist during this season, then you've got to stay tuned for this episode because first I'm going to be explaining what's happening hormonally, metabolically that causes you to crave more sugar. And then I'm going to hop into 3 actionable strategies that you can implement right away. And number 3 is my favorite, so you got to stay tuned for that. Now let's dive into today's episode. Okay, so we know we walk into a room and we are bombarded with sugar. It's just about everywhere during this really fun but crazy season. But if you find yourself not wanting to eat the sugar but then caving in, I just want you to know that you're not weak. You're not lacking willpower, but you are missing something. And it's the one thing that no one seems to be talking about, but we're definitely going to be talking about it on today's episode. So, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to start with why your shifting hormones and metabolism are literally wiring you to crave more sugar during this peri and postmenopausal period in our lives. We're also going to talk about how your mindset around the holidays makes you feel more powerless when it comes to sugar. And then finally, we'll get to the exciting part where we'll talk about 3 actionable strategies that you can start to implement right away and see results. We want to reduce the cravings before they even hit us. And these 3 strategies are the exact strategies that I share with the women in my group, Metabolic Mastery for Women Over 40. They are 3 of many strategies I share, but they are also extremely effective. So, the first thing that I need you to know about cravings is that the cravings are not about you having too little willpower. Cravings are just messages. They are messages from your brain. They are messages from your metabolism. They are messages from your hormones. And what we need to do is understand what those messages are telling us. And that understanding is really bio individual. It means it's different for each person. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to talk about is hormones. So, what's happening to your hormones really makes it difficult and almost impossible for you to control your cravings around sugar. Now, I'm not giving you this information so you can feel good about just eating anything and blame it on your hormones. No, knowledge is power and it translates into action. So, when you understand that your shifting hormones are literally causing you to feel less in control around sugar, you can do something about it. And then we'll talk about what it is that you can do. But here's what's happening, okay? So estrogen starts to decline. It starts to decline at a staggering rate. It's very erratic in perimenopause. And then it really declines significantly postmenopause. And we know that estrogen causes blood sugar to be more stable. And when estrogen is erratic, so are your cravings. And then when estrogen declines significantly, cravings for sugar really increase. You know, I hear this really often, especially women over 60, 70. They'll tell me, all I want to eat is sugar. It's really hard for me to want to eat real food. Part of it is our digestion is slowing down. The other part is that estrogen is really declining, and that makes us crave more sugar. We know this in research, it's really well documented. So, we also know that these fluctuations in our hormones are causing more stress on the body. And when you add the stress of the season, because we know we enjoy the holidays, but they're also stressful. You have to do a bunch of stuff that you normally wouldn't do. You're also seeing a lot more people than you want to probably during peri and postmenopause. We generally, especially when things are imbalanced in the body, we become a little bit more prickly and we need more time to recuperate on our own. We are overstimulated, and this is a very stimulating time. So, even though you might really love it, I love the season, but you might feel if you're in a depending on where you are in adrenal, what's going on with your adrenal glands and what your stress levels look like, you might need more quiet time. So, we know that the shifting hormones are causing more stress, and we know that the season is more stressful. And that causes blood sugar irregularities. It leads to further insulin resistance because when the body is under a lot of stress, you are secreting more cortisol. And maybe depending on where you are, you're secreting more or less cortisol and you're feeling tired. But anyway, the fluctuating hormones as well as the stress of the season causes you to feel weaker around sugar and to actually crave more sugar because your blood sugar levels are more erratic. And every time you have a rise and then a crash in sugar, your body needs more sugar because, well, it's trying to protect you. So, these two reasons, there are a lot more reasons, but these two high level reasons are real physiological reasons why you might be feeling less resilient and less in control around sugar. So that explains the physiological, the hormonal, the metabolic shifts that are taking place. Now, there's also a mindset piece around this holiday season, and I want to talk about that for just 1 second because we need to acknowledge that there is an emotional aspect to the season. We are excited, we're happy. It really is kind of like a cultural programming around this season. And I hear these words so often. It's the holidays. Let's just enjoy ourselves. Let's just let our guard down and enjoy the season. It only comes once a year. It's time to indulge. There's nothing wrong with enjoying foods and letting your guard down, but there is a real difference between intentional enjoyment and emotional autopilot. I'm going to be sharing next week a full episode on how to navigate holiday meals and with actionable strategies that you can implement so you can really eat mindfully during your meals, your holiday events. So stay tuned for that. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button. But right now, what I want to explain is that cravings during this season are both physiological, like I explained with the hormones and the blood sugar, and also psychological. It's what you're telling yourself around this season that's really going to dictate how you feel around food and what you tell yourself when you're around the sugar that you really don't want to eat. So now let's dive into the three strategies, and I'm going to address both the hormonal, the metabolic, and the mindset in each of these strategies. So let's dive in. But before we dive in, I just want to tell you that these are strategies that are going to give you results. But if you want true transformation, if you want to get through the holidays and post holidays feeling like just amazing, imagine getting through the holidays and feeling completely free around food, free to choose whatever you want, but also in control of your cravings because your body feels calmer and your mind feels calmer. And you have an action packed plan of how to navigate these things while still enjoying them. And that's exactly what I do in my program. If you want real transformation, I highly encourage you to go to nutritionherway.com/MM for metabolic mastery. Check out the details of my 6-month program. So there's a tool there. You can send me a message, you can send me a video chat, and we can chat offline and I can help you understand what it is that I could do for you during and post holidays so you can stop the guesswork already and see real transformative results. Okay, so let's get into the 3 tips. Tip number 1 is front load your calories and eat a big breakfast. Now, I know this is a big ask, and I know it's a big ask because a lot of us are aware that we have a holiday dinner coming later on in the day, and we're like, okay, we're going to save our calories, we're going to fast. I'm going to extend my fast and fast through breakfast. That is a bad idea. And it's a bad idea because when we eat breakfast, we turn on our metabolic fire. And there is research after research after research that says if you eat a large breakfast, especially with protein, at least 30 to 40 grams of protein, you reduce your cravings later on in the day. You feel more in control around food. Your leptin and ghrelin levels are healthier, so you're craving less and you feel more satiated when you eat. Your fat burning hormones are turned on. Your metabolic fire, your thyroid functions better. Your liver functions better. Everything in your body functions better when you eat breakfast. And I'm not talking about cereal and milk here. I'm not talking about just eating a piece of toast with butter. I'm talking about a full 5 to 700 calorie breakfast. And I know that for some of you that blows your mind, but we have to eat in order to tell our body that it's safe and that it could burn energy. You're not starving yourself, you're not saving your energy for later on, and then you get to food and you have uncontrollable urges. So often I see ladies are saving their calories. Okay, I'm not judging. I used to do this all the time. I would know that there's a holiday event coming and I would save my meal for later on. I'm saving my calories. But what would happen when I get to that meal? Well, I have uncontrollable eating. I'm eating way more than I normally would. And what's my body doing? It is storing that food instead of burning it, especially if we're doing this often. So, what I say is eat breakfast, do not starve yourself, have a moderate lunch, and then go and enjoy your dinner. And I promise you, you will feel more in control around the food. You will be able to enjoy yourself, but also enjoy it moderately. So imagine getting through the meal and not feeling like you need to nap at the end. That's exactly what'll happen. You will be more present, you'll be able to enjoy yourself, and you will feel better. So what could you do in the morning? Well, I love smoothies. I pack it with fiber. I use protein. I make sure that there's 30 to 40 grams of protein in there. There's lots of fiber, anywhere around 10 grams of fiber is what I get in my morning smoothie. And make sure that there's colorful fruits and veggies in there. And there you go. You feel amazing. You don't like smoothies? No problem. You can have a Greek yogurt bowl. Just make sure that you're eating enough yogurt to give you that 30 to 40 grams of protein. And you can add more fruits and other fiber to it, or an egg omelet. 3 eggs, 2 eggs with cottage cheese. Make sure when you put it into your macro calculator, you're hitting at least 30 to 40 grams of protein. And so these are great breakfasts that you can start with. Yes, they have calories, but I promise you, it's not going to cause you to gain weight. The opposite is going to do that for you. If you save your calories for later on in the day, you are definitely going to overeat. So my second tip is just be aware of the mindset that you have around this holiday season. What are you telling yourself? Are you telling yourself, oh, it's just the holidays. Let me just enjoy myself. I'll deal with this in January. But look, here's the thing. If you're throwing in the towel and you're throwing caution to the wind, yet come January, you're feeling bad about yourself. You're feeling bad about the holidays. During the holidays, you're feeling drained, tired, puffy, heavy, you're gaining weight, you're bloated, and you're not showing up as your best self to the holiday parties because you're feeling bad about yourself. Are you really doing what it is that you want to do? Are you really happy during the season? Is it that you really want to just enjoy the food? Or do you prefer to feel better? If you're totally comfortable with how your body looks and feels and you're enjoying the holidays and you want to indulge, honestly, I say go for it. But if you're really honest with yourself and you feel tugged and you really don't want to feel heavy and bloated and gain weight during the holidays, then really check yourself and decide which way you want to choose. You can enjoy both. I do. I enjoy both, but I'm at a place with my food journey and my relationship with food. I'm just really honest with myself. I choose what I really want. So it's a matter of choice, but it's also a matter of awareness. What are you telling yourself and what do you want more? And simply choosing the one that is most aligned with your values. So if you value feeling good, if you value looking good, then you choose to be in control around the food. You choose to have breakfast. And then I'm going to share a couple more strategies. One is a bonus, but let's get to point number 3. And this is the one that nobody talks about. So your cravings might have nothing to do with the sugar, but everything to do with nutrient deficiencies. Now, you know, this is what I love. If you've been listening to this podcast for any length of time, I love to talk about nutrients. I love to talk about minerals because when you change the nutrient status in the body. When you up your nutrients, your metabolism is fired up. Like, if you think about it, the thyroid cannot function with certain nutrients. We all know that. People will take selenium or, things for the thyroid. I don't recommend selenium, but some people do and they see benefits to it. It's not my first choice. But when you feed the body nutrients, your metabolism fires up. And when you're deficient in nutrients and minerals, like vitamins and minerals, your metabolism slows down. We know this in research, lots of research, especially around magnesium. I've talked about this before. When there are deficiencies in magnesium and, insulin resistant or obese patients are supplemented with magnesium, well, their insulin resistance starts to reverse. They become more insulin sensitive. And this is just, one research that supports that a certain nutrient really boosted the metabolic rate, because if you reverse insulin resistance, you will be able to release weight. So nutrients matter. And this is what I do hardcore with my clients. We understand what's happening to the nutrient status in their body, and then we address it. We bring balance to the body. They feel better. Anxiety goes down. Sugar cravings go down. They feel more in control around food. And lo and behold, they end up losing weight. So this is what I do, but you can start to take a look at your diet and make sure you're at least focusing on magnesium and potassium rich foods. Okay. And some foods that you can start to include are pumpkin seeds. I love avocados, sweet potatoes, spinach, seafood, especially wild salmon. When I see this on a meal plan, a nutrient status is great for that day. Eggs, liver, even once a month. I know us ladies, we don't like liver, but it is really, really good for you. Very nutrient dense. And dark chocolate. Most of us love dark chocolate. Choose 70% and above, and you'll get a great amount. You'll get a good amount of magnesium in there. Like, don't eat the whole bar, okay? Just a little piece. And so just look at your diet. And are you having colorful fruits and vegetables in your diet, especially during the holiday season? If you're not, then beef it up. Add more nutrient dense food to your meals. And then my bonus tip, it kind of goes hand in hand with minerals, is make sure that you're hydrated. Often a sugar craving looks like dehydration. So a tip, very quick tip, is if you feel like you need sugar before you eat the sugar, make sure you drink some water. And a bonus tip, sprinkle just a few grains of salt, a good quality salt, on your tongue before you drink, and then really reassess, are you still craving that sugar? And just wait a few minutes. Usually 99% of the time, the sugar craving will dissipate when you hydrate. That rhymed. And I didn't even try. Okay, so just to recap, there are things that are shifting in your body. You need to be honest with yourself. There are hormonal shifts that are leading to metabolic changes, and you need to address the mindset piece during the season to make sure that you're doing the things that you want to do. So just quickly, what are the 3 tips? Tip number 1, make sure you're eating breakfast, hit 30 to 40 grams of protein, and make sure that they have calories to them, okay? So it's not just a quick protein shake and with no calories. So aim for 5 to 700 calories. I know, huge ask. And then make sure that you are being honest with yourself. What do you really want during the holiday season? What's your mindset around food? Tip number 3, mind your minerals. Make sure that you're getting at least magnesium and potassium during the season. And bonus tip, drink water. And if you want a step-by-step guide that is just for you, get in touch with me. Go to nutritionherway.com/mm for metabolic mastery and see real transformation and feel like your amazing self during and post holidays. All right, I will see you on next Wednesday's episode.